Hey guys, welcome to DIY guitar making and welcome back to my shop. Today we're going to do shop rounds, which is basically where I walk you around my shop and we talk about all of the things that I'm working on currently this week in my shop. And hopefully through that process, you guys pick up a thing or two, a couple tips and tricks about lutherie and guitar making along the way. Okay. So let's get right into it. All right, so the first thing I got going on here is I am getting started. I'm in the planning stage of my next project. Guitar number 85 has reached the finishing stage, which is exactly the time that I start scheming about the next thing. So that means ordering parts, that means making any extra jigs and fixtures that I might need, and that also just means planning. I might need to draw up some plans and just make some critical decisions related to dimensions and things like that. So this next project, without getting too into the details here, mostly because I don't know them yet, is going to be 2 Parlor guitars, and what I'm testing here is bracing patterns. So I read an article recently in the Guild of American Lutherie's quarterly publication, which is called American Lutherie. I read an article in there. I can't remember who wrote the article, but that's okay, because as I progress with this project, I'll get that out there. But I read an article in there where the luthier who restores very old Parlor-sized guitars, particularly ones with ladder bracing, he actually thinks the ladder bracing is superior to X bracing acoustically on these very small sized guitars. He's not making this claim for larger OM size and dreadnoughts and whatever, just for these very small Parlor guitars. And actually I think it's a fairly convincing argument. Part of the reason I'm interested in this, honestly, is because if the ladder bracing on a Parlor-sized guitar is pretty viable, and not just for making, you know, cheap like factory guitars, but for a, you know, more of a high-end boutique instrument market, then hey, that's good news, because it's really easy to do ladder bracing. It's really quick, it's efficient, and who doesn't want to, you know, build guitars quicker? So I like getting really elaborate with bracing patterns and all of that, and I'm sure you guys have seen a little bit of that from me, but I'm also excited sometimes to do something a little bit simpler, especially if the simpler, more elegant solution is actually better. So anyway, maybe it's a bit of wishful thinking there. I'm hoping the ladder bracing for these very small guitars is actually a viable thing. So this guitar right here, I think, again, I got to do a little more research, but I think it's basically like a size 1 in the Martin scheme of sizes. So it's actually smaller than a concert guitar. Very small. To give you an idea, I just have a mold here, sitting here. This is an OM. So this OM size literally just eats the size of this, what I think is a size 1 guitar. Anyway, so that's going to be fun. Oh, for the wood, I don't know what I'm going to use yet, but I know I'm going to use something that I'm not used to. I don't know. I could almost just pick it out of a hat. I just want to try. I just want to try something different, something exotic. We'll see what I come up with. Maybe here. Maybe I'll just. I don't know if you guys have seen my shirts, but the back of the shirt, I have a, spin this around. Here, I could just pick randomly from here. Let's try oven call. There we go. Actually, that would be kind of cool. Oven call. All right. Enough messing around with that. Let's go check out what's going on with finishing. So as we go back deep into the bowels of the shop here, This is the part of the shop that I plan on building up into a finishing room to keep my finishing completely separate from the build process, which is always a good idea for obvious reasons of dust. One of the things that this room suffers from, I think, is poor lighting, so I'm working on that. This is guitar number 85 right here. Looking pretty good. I've got about 9 coats on right now of True Oil. So this guitar will be done soon, and it will be available for sale on my website at ericschaeferguitars.com. What I've set up here, everything I've set up here is actually, nothing's screwed into the floor or into the walls. Everything's temporary, because what I like to do with a new space is feel it out and kind of take notes on the space. I don't want to make anything permanent yet. I just want to be able to move things around, hang tools in various areas, and see what works as what makes for a good workflow, right? So when you have a room that's very dedicated like this is going to be, this isn't going to be an all-purpose room for all guitar building. This is literally just for doing hand-rubbed finishes. So there's an opportunity there to make it very efficient. And lastly here for my tool of the week, might seem like a bit of an odd choice, but I'm going with something new that I ordered here, which is dental picks. I've heard these also called dental scrapers. Either way, it's those things that they torture you with when you're at the dentist. Actually, I was at the dentist recently, and while they were picking away at my teeth, I thought, you know what? These are tools that I could really use in the shop. And actually, I asked if they would, if they had any ones they were getting rid of, and they wouldn't give them to me. So anyway, I assumed that dental tools would be exorbitantly expensive. I was wrong. On eBay, you just look up dental scrapers or dental picks. I got these for $9, the whole set. Definitely worth it. I haven't actually used them yet, so normally when I talk about a tool of the week here on Shop Rounds, it's something that I've been using at least for a couple of months, so then it's a a pretty good review. But in this case, I know how these are going to work, so I just wanted to jump the gun a little bit and explain the idea behind having dental picks in the shop. I really like this hooked one here, specifically for those situations which always come up where you're super gluing a really tiny piece of tear out back onto your instrument. And normally I use really anything, a paper clip or the end of a screw or something like that, just some object to hold that piece of wood against the body of the workpiece while you drop the glue on there. But the problem with that is always that you're basically whatever you're holding with, it doesn't have this lovely shape right here where the pick kind of scoops away, and it's a lot easier to get to accurately drop that glue and not make a mess of it with that scoop like you see there. Now the other use for these, of course, they are called dental scrapers, so a lot of them, but not all of them, have nice sharp ends to them for the purpose of scraping bone really, but they also work great for just getting into tight corners on your guitars, in the corners of the nut slot, against the fretboard, around your bracing pattern. There's just no end to the opportunities to use tools like this. Honestly, I'll probably have a favorite from this set that I will use for all of those situations because they're not that different. So if you could only, so you really only need to buy one of these, but the whole set's $9, so why not? Anyway, that's my tool of the week. Sort of an odd choice, but they're cool. I think it's a cool idea, and I think it's better than using paper clips. Okay guys, so that's it. That's the shop rounds. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good weekend. Bye.
If you learned something here, please give this video a like and subscribe so you can be notified when I release a new DIY guitar making video. And if you want to really learn more, take one of my structured online courses at ericschaferguitars.com or register for a hands-on guitar building workshop here with me in Burnville, Pennsylvania.